Welcome to the Airgun Show. This week I've managed to get my hands on the fantastic little super compact Brocock Ranger XR. But first up, we're joining Andy Watkins as he makes a mixed bag on one of his more unusual permissions.
Me and Tom are out here today. We've been called out. There's just a few magpies and squirrels and just things like that that could do with being thinned out. The magpies are just causing a bit of issues with the sheep, eating the grain and defecating in the feed. So yeah, we're just gonna have a walk around and see what we can do really. Today we're gonna be using the Walther Rain. We've used this gun a load of times before and it's done the job well. So hopefully it'll do the same today. Well, I've just come around the corner and there's a squirrel just sat there at about 10 yards. Tom and me are just taking it in turns to shoot, so I had the last squirrel. Now it's Tom's turn. And you think he may have spotted a jackdaw, so let's see how he gets on.
The corvids are causing all sorts of problems here around the livestock and their feed. Unfortunately for Tom, they're not easy to spot amongst the summer foliage.
Well, no luck on that jackdaw, but he's got his eye on a magpie now. They're still pretty sharp. Even here where they're used to seeing people all the time. Maybe it's because it's out of hours and we've got rifles, they just know. We've just spotted a squirrel going across there. Now it is Tom's turn to shoot, but he wasn't too keen on taking a shot because there's not a lot of rests around, so I'm going to hopefully be able to freehand it. He seemed pretty calm, so hopefully he's still there. Well, that went pretty much perfectly to plan. He was meandering across, just feeding along the ground there. Then he hopped up onto the fence. Now, the contrast was really hard to tell if the scope was focused or not because I'm in bright sunshine shooting into shade. So it was a bit tricky, but hopefully it'll come out all right on the eagle vision. Tom couldn't quite see it, so we just relied on the scope cam for that shot. Yeah, let's go and pick him. Went for a heart shot, seems to have done the job well.
Another chance for Tom here, and this time it looks as if he's spotted his quarry.
Just shot a squirrel. up here in the V of a tree. Got a nice clean headshot, so hopefully it'll be down at the base of the tree. Nice headshot.
Well, Tom just had a really nice headshot on a squirrel. I got it on this camera. We didn't use the GoPro on that one, but yeah, dropped him instantly, so really nice and humane. I think it's still Tom's shot now because I've had a couple of shots already. So yeah, over to Tom again. Okay, so Tom's just down there lining up on a bird now. I think it must be a jackdaw. I can't see it, so I'm just going to film him and hope that he gets the shot on the GoPro. Nice shot.
Yeah.
Talk us through it, Tom.
Just coming along the path here, spotted one up in these trees. Lovely little stand of a shed, so couldn't go wrong.
Well, I just had a jackdaw too, but unfortunately this one was off camera. I just didn't have time. But here he is, another young one. Tom's was a young jackdaw as well, so yeah, at least it'll stop it from growing up and doing the damage. Yeah, let's move on. There's quite a lot of corvids around here, squawking and chattering, so maybe we should stick around in these woods for a little bit and just see if anything else comes in, but it is quite thick, so maybe if we move to the edge of the wood we might get a better vantage point. Yeah. Well, we waited around for a little bit and it paid off. A magpie just flew into the tree above me. Had a real nice clean heart shot, so nice magpie down. It's fallen in some real thick vegetation and I really don't think there's any point even looking for that magpie. I know it's dead, it was a real solid shot. I watched him go down.
You can probably tell from the noise that the lads are controlling pests on an animal park, but residents are certainly excitable this evening.
That was a really young squirrel that just came running across. I didn't think it was going to stop, but it did. I had to thread a pellet through some very soft leaves, very young leaves, so I didn't think that it would make much of a difference to the trajectory of the pellet. And yeah, rolled him over with a headshot. So a very young squirrel there, took him with a neck shot. The squirrels basically just destroy the woodland. They're an invasive species, the grey squirrels, as you'll probably all know, but in case you don't, they strip the native trees of the bark and kill them, especially if they're saplings. And they also are predators on the UK songbirds, and of course other songbirds, but they raid the nests and eat the eggs. So as many of these as we kill, the better. Also, they carry squirrel pox, which is deadly to our native red squirrels. Not that that's much of an issue here, because we haven't had any red squirrels for a long time, but every one of these we knock down is a good thing for the ecosystem.
Andy is a highly skilled offhand shooter. I wish I could hold standing shots as steady as this.
I just had a really nice fully grown rabbit. Just hopped out as I was walking down and rolled him over with a headshot. Really nice rabbit. Definitely a headshot, going from the blood coming out of the ears, and I think I hit him just there behind the eye. This one is a buck rabbit, so yeah, beautiful. One for the pot there. Well, we've had a really good night. Had quite a lot of squirrels and a lot of corvids as well. Had some more off camera, a few jackdaws, and that bonus rabbit at the end. But Tom's getting absolutely smashed by the mozzie, so I think we're going to call it a night and head back to the van. But yeah, that rabbit's going to go really nice in the pot, so I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, thank you for watching. Everything today has performed really well. The Walther Rain, the sports match mounts holding everything together, and the Eagle Vision capturing a lot of the kill shots as well. So yeah, really pleased with the evening.
Andy Watkins bringing the animal park pests to book there. Next up, I'm taking a look at the super compact Brocock Ranger XR. Brocock do a brilliant job of designing practical, functional, accurate airguns that tend to lend themselves really well to serious pest control. Now you can add extremely compact to that list of attributes. This is the Ranger XR. Retail prices start at just over £1,200, and this is a tiny little airgun that you can make even tinier thanks to an ingenious folding mechanism that we'll look at a bit more closely in a moment. Apart from being small, this airgun is also light, and it tips the scales at around 2.2 kilos before you fit a scope. Now, it's also length adjustable, and that means that you can adjust length of pull from 35 centimetres up to 43 centimetres. Now obviously that is also going to affect the overall length of the gun, which goes from 68 centimetres at full extension to a really compact 60 centimetres when it's fully compressed. Length adjustments are made via the sliding buttstock. All you need to do is push down the button and it slides in and out with positive stops for you to choose between. Now, this gun has another neat trick up its sleeve in that the buttstock actually folds over. Now, to do that, all you need to do is lift the rear section of the butt, and that disconnects the notch that fastens it in position. It then folds over to reduce the overall carrying length of the gun to just 39 centimetres. Now it actually locks into the folded position, and all you need to do is lift that rear section again to unlock that securing notch and then fold it back out when you want to use the gun. Because it packs away so small, the Ranger XR is a great gun to have in a truck. It will also pack into a backpack if you have to walk a long way and don't want to be burdened by carrying a gun. Now the butt section is also interchangeable, so you can swap it out for different designs if you want to. Now I actually really liked the standard version. There's virtually no play at all in the locking mechanism, and despite being so small, it's still a really comfortable gun to shoot. Although quite minimalistic, the stock has some great features, including a Picatinny type front accessory rail on the underside, and there are also options to add side accessory rails. Now, like the buttstock, the pistol grip is also interchangeable and can be swapped out. However, I thought the standard one was great. It's got a really nice steep rake, which makes for a brilliant trigger attack. Although there is a Picatinny option, the standard scope rails are of the dovetail variety. You do have to be a little bit careful with scope mounting because the magazine stands proud between the two mounting sections. The barrel is shrouded and it's also threaded to accept a silencer, which I think most people are probably going to want to do because this little gun does have quite a bark to it. Like the rest of the XR range, the Ranger has a side lever action for cocking and loading. Now that lever is well positioned and the large drop down handle makes for a really good purchase. It is a very reliable mechanism, and that means that quick follow-up shots are always on hand, and it's also just great fun for rapid fire plinking. A single shot tray is supplied, but you also get Brocock's new gate type multi-shot magazine, which holds 13 shots in 177 caliber and 11 in 22. Now it's very easy to load. All you do is fold open the gate and then turn the inner drum all the way around until it stops. You then drop a pellet into the bottom chamber to hold the spring tension and then simply load pellets into the rest of the chambers. This airgun is equipped with a Huma regulator and it's very consistent. Now the 22 caliber test gun is running at about 11.4 foot-pounds with a variation of about 5 feet per second over a string of 10 shots. Now recommended fill pressure is 230 bar and this gun is really simple to refill. All you do is turn the collar at the front of the cylinder to expose the inlet and then plug in with the supplied probe. Despite being very compact, the Ranger XR still returns about 40 shots per fill at sub 12 foot-pound power levels, and high power models are also available. Onboard pressure is displayed on a gauge at the front of the cylinder. Now, that's not my favourite place to have an air gauge, but this one is clearly marked and it is possible to read it without putting your face in front of the muzzle. Like a lot of Brocock airguns, this one has adjustable power. Now most sub 12 shooters will probably want to stay on maximum output, but if you do want to wind it up or down, it's simply a matter of using the dial which is positioned just above the trigger and on this model has 3 clear stops. The new breed of Brococks have excellent triggers, and that is certainly the case with the 2-stage adjustable unit on here. Now the design of the blade I think is absolutely excellent, and first stage weight and travel feel to be pretty much spot on. Straight out of the box, the second stage breaks crisply and predictably with absolutely no hint of any creep. There's a switch type safety catch positioned right in front of the trigger blade. Now I don't usually like to have a safety catch so close to the trigger, but I will say that it makes it very easy to operate. Now it's safe when it's across to the right, and then you simply push it across to the left when you're ready to take the shot. Unfortunately, once again, we've been forced inside by the rain, but I have managed to have a decent chunk of range time with this gun. The first thing I will say is that I did fit it with the 0 dB silencer because, as I said earlier, it's not quiet, but that muted it right down, and also, even with a silencer on, it was still a very compact little gun. Now, I'll go on to say that this isn't a gun that's been designed for shooting from a bench. However, when I was shooting it from a bench, it certainly delivered the goods. It was practically pellet on pellet at 30 metres, and those groups were opening up to sort of fingernail size at 40 metres. So this, it may be compact, but it's not a gimmicky gun. It's a quality piece of kit, it's very consistent, it's got a great trigger, and the result is really impressive accuracy. So, that's the Ranger XR from Brocock. Now, like all of this British gunmaker's airguns, it feels to be very well constructed, and it just feels like the sort of airgun that's going to stand up to years of tough use in the field. Of course, its biggest plus points are the fact that it's tiny and it packs away even tinier. So, if you want a compact and reliable PCP that's light and very, very easy to transport, have a go with this one because it could be just what you're looking for.
Don't miss the award-winning Airgun Shooter magazine. It's packed with hunting features, reviews, tactics and insight to help you become an even more successful shooter. Get your copy today in shops or online.
I'm afraid that's all we've got time for this week, but as ever, we'll be back again in a fortnight. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And if you aren't already a member of the BASC, have a look at their website and check out the benefits that you could be taking advantage of through Airgun membership.